and onward to progress we surely will. Because now, more than ever, we must show discipline, tolerance, and production to build a strong and better nation. I say that is the main foundation. So come let us work hand in hand, because this is our land. Come my brother, come my sister, and let us build a nation together.
Come, my brother, come, my sister, and let us build a nation together. I want to welcome you to the Dynamic Hour. Again, we have a unique opportunity in time to use technology for good, to converse, to dialogue, to chit-chat, to disagree sometimes, and to agree other times. At this point, I want to encourage those on Facebook and YouTube to please share the live. Sharing is caring. You may underestimate your role in getting the message out. When you share the live, your friends on your page or platform will get to discover the program and listen in. We will start off this morning again with some positive news, because that's something that's lacking. Positivity. There are people who live in a negative world. They thrive on that. They complain about everything. They grind and groan about everything. And many a times they have an agenda. There are some who come out openly and tell you where they stand politically. But there are others who smartly throw shades or put stuff out there with the hope that they would convert people, change people's mindset on certain things. And they do not come out openly and say they support this or support that, right?
The Ministry of Agriculture, Lands, Forestry and Marine Resources says the importation of over 400 livestock is primarily for the launch of a national breeding program aimed at improving local genetics. In early January, 165 sheep, 159 goats and 144 pigs, all purebred, were imported from the United States at a cost of EC 4 million. Since the program was announced, the ministry has received numerous inquiries about purchasing and registering to receive these animals. However, Permanent Secretary Isaac Bagwan clarifies that these animals are not for sale. Instead, they are designated for the breeding program and in the first instance will only be provided to the 75 select farmers involved. To ensure the successful implementation of this national breeding initiative, the ministry has signed an MOU with 75 farmers who will participate in the program for the first 3 years of this 10-year project.
The initial intent of the program is for breeding. So we want to increase the quality. We want to increase the stock of the animal. So within the first 3 years or so, we'll be using the animal for breeding, both on the farms and select farmers, 25 each, would be able to be given a purebred animal so that they could do in that process. So there is no animal available currently for sale. After the first breeding cycle, what we would do is that we would select those that we would keep to breed again, and of course those that have not reached the standard to breed, then of course we would sell it to individual farmers and for probably the meat market. But the initial intent is not for animals to consume currently, but of course, the intent later on, that is what would happen.
Coordinator of Component 4 of the Food Security Enhancement Project, Nugent Bernard, further elaborates on the intent of the program, highlighting that the initiative goes beyond simply providing an animal to a farmer.
As we continue to breed animals from Maribo, which is the purebred breeding center, farmers would be exposed to the same kind of genetics that we have, right? So at due time, the ministry will put out information asking farmers who are interested in purebred to make application, right? Because again, it's not just giving a farmer animal. We want to make sure that the management system that the farmer has is adequate. We want to make sure that the feeding system that he has for the animal is adequate. We want to make sure that the housing and everything, is really taken care of. Because in some cases, we may even have to, at some point in time, look at how do we improve the housing condition for not just pigs, but for sheep and goat, poultry, all the livestock animals, right? So there is no need for farmers to be, calling and jittery about, how do I get an animal, how do I set up an animal, how do I make application for animal. This is a process that we have just started. In fact, as we speak, the animals are in quarantine for 6 weeks. After 6 weeks, we will determine what is going to happen with the 25 farmers that we have shortlisted, and then of course moving forward, taking care and making sure that we adequately manage those that we have at the Maribo facility.
The ministry is reminding farmers that the program is designed for their benefit and encourages them to stay informed about its operations so they can ultimately reap the rewards, as this initiative is significant in the nation's goal for food security.
All right, so there seem to be some internet issues. This morning, there seem to be some internet issues. A while ago, I got disconnected. All right, a while ago, I got disconnected. So there seem to be some internet issues here. Right, so the internet is giving some problems this morning, and I'm certain it's not only with me, but with other people too. All right, and it's affecting a lot of stations. There seem to be some internet issues. So I'm saying it's a very good move on the part of the government, because we have had problems for meat for years, because not many people are into the breeding aspect of livestock. They're all about the meat. So you kill, or you slaughter, you slaughter, and after a while you don't have. So you need to have a vibrant breeding program so that you would always have. And this is high quality animals costing millions of dollars. But the government saw the need to make such an investment. So the farmers should understand that every farmer cannot be a part of the program. All right. And I know when it comes to money being distributed, there will always be issues. We saw it with farmers recently who were affected by Hurricane Beryl. Some people had more than 5 acres of land, but they are working 3 acres. So only 3 acres under construction. But on the books, they have 5 acres of land. And many of them thought that they should be given the $9,000 and not the $4,500. But when you go back and you check the what was registered as being under cultivation, it's 3 acres or 4 acres. And there are some farmers who are working more than 5 acres. And for some strange reason, they did not get the $9,000, but instead the $4,500. And what needs to happen, the extension officer, the person in the field, they need to be able to verify certain things and get the thing clear up. So there are some farmers who are not totally happy, right? And some rightly so, but some again, you have 6 acres, but you only work in 3. You don't expect to get 9. And remember, when Ivan passed and devastated Grenada, the government at the time, the NNP, never gave you any cash payouts. They never gave you any money. And some people never even got plans so that they can replant, because agriculture was never a priority for the NNP. That is why the NDC has to come now and do this spice replanting program. So you still have to be grateful and thankful. There are some people we know you're supposed to have gotten $9,000, but for some reason you didn't get it. You got $4,500. Work with your extension officer to see how that can be rectified. But there are some, yes, you have 6 acres on your name, but only 3 acres under cultivation. You don't expect, because you have 6 acres on the books, to get from government $9,000, right? So even with this breeding program, the livestock, you have farmers who are of the view that they should be a part of the program. But then when you go and you assess their farm, they have no housing, they have no proper facility for the animals. So sometimes, start where you're supposed to start. Seek to get assistance to build proper housing for the animals, because you have to feed them properly. You have to provide the proper water, the proper feed, the proper lighting, the proper care for the animals, because that's a significant investment the government made. They don't want to have those animals given to farmers, and when you go and look at them, it's like they're suffering from malnutrition. You don't want that, all right? And the NNP, they already start attacking this particular initiative by government. I listened to 2 programs of the NNP, surrogates, people who speak for the NNP, and they already start attacking the program, talking about the amount of males that they brought in for that particular program. And they should, instead of bringing the amount of males, it should be 4 females to 1 male. And they should invest less money in such a program. It should be half, not 4 million, but 2 million. And then the next 2 million should be given to this and given to that. And they already start attacking the program. But when NNP was there, they had no vision to undertake such a program, to roll out such a program. They are good at attacking. They are good at condemning. They are good at criticizing. But when it comes to solutions, they don't have. The NNP is a complaining party, not a solution-based party. So they already start attacking. There is no program that the NDC administration rolled out that the NNP came forward and commended and applauded or praised. None. All the programs they attack, no matter what program the NDC roll out. That's what they're accustomed to. And you ask them, but what is the solution? For years, we had to go, when I say we, butchers, they had to go to St. Vincent to get animals, bring them to Grenada, slaughter them, and sell them for meat. Because not many people were into the breeding aspect of the livestock, right? So you slaughter, after a while, what would happen? You would have less people having actual animals, right? So look, I'm saying it's a very good initiative. You cannot please the NNP, so keep doing what you're doing. You're doing a fantastic job, PS Bagwan and Mr. Bernard and the team, Dr. Cummins and the others. You're doing a fantastic job. Continue on that path, because the NNP is about negativity, and they believe by criticizing, by condemning, they will get back to power. And mind you, some of them not only criticizing, they're creating the problem just for the government to look bad. And they're out on a campaign these days. You hear them calling the WFM Plead Your Cause program, concocting stories about who ain't getting pay and who ain't getting pay and who ain't getting pay. And when you do a thorough investigation, that's not the case. But they are allowed, because of the freedom that exists there, to call that program and say what they want, how they want, when they want, just to make the government look bad. That's all they're about. And they're not getting what they want, so they're becoming more and more desperate. You see, the NNP wanted industrial unrest in the country over the new pension bill. But when people start digging deeper and understood the real intention of such a bill and the benefits to be derived from the passage of such a bill for the contract workers, for workers who are unestablished within the public service, then all the tension, all the hype just died down. Because what the NNP wanted was industrial unrest in the country, in my belief. And they did not get that, because you have some union leaders who have big mouth, but when it comes to the support from within the union, like the members, the actual members of the union, they don't have it. They don't have the support of the members. In fact, one friend told me the union donkey is at the point of giving up. He's losing hope. He's giving up, right? Because he's not getting the support of the membership. And people are now seeing him for who he is, right? The guy is all about himself, not consulting with the membership of the union. Some of the positions that he took, in my belief, were personal and not when it comes to the union position. Because this particular bill and now law is a good one for workers. It will benefit the workers. So the NNP on a whole, what they wanted was unrest, instability. It's not coming their way. But when you look at the NNP as a party, when you look at them, they're falling apart. There is serious instability within the NNP, serious fighting among themselves for different positions, and certain positions that, and I'm not talking actual position within any org, right? Like president or chairman, but I'm talking about party positions. And they don't know how to manage it and how to handle it within the party. So they are chaotic. There is serious instability within NNP. But at the same time, we are seeing instability in NNP and problems there. Well, Peter David resigned. We saw Delma Thomas resign, and she moved over to the NDC, which was a really good move. She was not as tainted as Peter David. Peter David has to go into retirement, right? He's done. He's done politically. The guy jumped from one party to the next, to the next, to the next. You know, from NDC, he went over to NNP, and now nowhere, right? He's going in the parliament, I think, as an independent, something like that. It's just sad. It's sad to see what's happening over in the NNP, but I love it. I love it. And then we saw Neilon Franklin, he resigned, and a couple other people. They don't want to associate themselves with the NNP anymore, right? But while we're seeing that happening with the NNP, the NDC administration is stable. The government is stable. And there is unity among the ministers of government, among the NDC. They're united. They're working for the people of Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique. And that is what you want. But mind you, the NNP is out there saying that they want to rescue Grenada, right? And not only that, their strategy is well known. They're focused on the 4 constituencies in St. Andrew because they believe if they can get the 4 constituencies in St. Andrew, meaning their supporters to go out there and vote come election, and by some magic, the NDC people will go to sleep on that day, and those in the middle will be sleeping even before. That is what they believe. And they're targeting St. Patrick, 2 constituencies there, because they believe there's an opening for them. They think that the people in St. Patrick going to just gravitate towards them. And they're targeting Carriacou and St. John. And if they can hold Clarice Modeste seat, well, she may not be the person running there. Somebody else, maybe the new senator. And if they can hold Keith Mitchell's seat, because he seemed to be there indefinitely, he wants to go in his grave with that constituency. So that is their strategy. They're focusing more on the rural areas, right? St. Andrew and St. Patrick and Carriacou and Petit Martinique and St. John. That's their target. So they're out there regularly doing stuff. And that is why it is important for the MPs on the NDC side to be on their P's and Q's and don't take anything for granted. Do the political work. Yes, it's all good to do government work. I love when I see David Andrew, for example, in schools and among the kids. That's government. That's not politics, right? That's government. That's not politics. But I love when I see David Andrew out there in the community touching base with the constituents, doing a piece of road, doing a piece of drain, doing a couple houses for people who are in need, distributing materials, that kind of stuff, assisting the farmers. That's politics. Politics is still tangible. Politics is still grassroots, and you have the resources of the state. That is what is important. And that goes for all the MPs in St. Andrew and St. Patrick and St. John and Carriacou. The Honorable Tevin Andrews, he's doing a fantastic job in Carriacou. And yes, he will be attacked. And yes, they will try all kinds of stuff to unseat him. But he worked very hard to get Carriacou, to win Carriacou and Petit Martinique. And he's not going to just allow them to walk over him or to get it back easily. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Because you see, what many people don't understand, there are a lot of people who are registered for Carriacou and Petit Martinique, and they're living in the diaspora. But they're registered. They're on the voters list. And they love their Tevin, and they love their Deacon, and they love their NDC. And they are prepared to pay their way back to Grenada to vote, to participate in the election. Hundreds of people from Carriacou and Petit Martinique. And they love to see what the Honorable Tevin Andrews is doing for Carriacou and Petit Martinique. He's not perfect. And he's not a magician. So he can't fix everything overnight. Right? He can't. It's going to take some time. Even when Ivan affected Grenada, it took months and months and months and months and years to get back to where we were. It can't happen overnight. We don't print money. Things do take time, right? So I am simply saying the NNP strategy is to seek to get a foothold in those constituencies with lies and misinformation. Because there isn't anything that the NNP is actually doing for the people of St. Andrew or St. Patrick or Carriacou or St. John. They're not actually doing anything. But they were there, but they want the NDC to do everything in those constituencies. The Honorable Delma Thomas and the Honorable Gloria Thomas, they're doing a fantastic job in that constituency. And it's the politics. We're going on to year 3. So it's the politics that matters. The government is doing a fantastic job, and they continue to do that. But it has to be personal. Politics is still a personal thing. It's still tangible. Because if you come in my community and my house is not in good shape, so to speak, and you lend assistance to me and my family, maybe the roof needed fixing, and you lend assistance to me there. Maybe the flooring needs fixing, or maybe the sides, the walls, or maybe the road leading to the 4 or 5 houses, or the drain that needs fixing because every time rain falls, you have flooding. Or maybe my daughter or son who needs a scholarship or who needs to be in a training program. Or maybe my grandmother who needs to be on the seed program. Or maybe my children who need some kind of assistance. Right? And they get that assistance. They will not forget you. They will not forget you. And that's politics. That's where the politics lies. But yes, you can do something generally and get a negative spin-off or a positive spin-off. It depends. But many people don't see it as politics, even if, yes, there's a little politics in it, But the impact of you being personal, lending assistance direct, versus you doing something nationally, right? Or government-wise. Impact, they're different. So it has to be about the politics in going forward. And nothing is wrong with you being political. When it comes to partisan politics or infantile politics, petty politics, then we have a problem. But if you're targeting your constituents and giving them assistance and helping them in many different ways, you know the thing go nice. And that is what we have to continue to do. You could be out there, a lot of people out in the field. But when you ask them, what did you achieve today? What was the output? Because you're trying to reach the outcome. You want to win your constituency. So there are a number of activities you must do to get the output, to reach that higher level. Because you're doing the box drain, you're doing the sleeper drain, you're doing the concrete roads, you're repairing homes, you're building new homes, you getting people to be a part of training programs and opportunities there. These are the activities, right? But these activities must lead to outputs, something greater, conviction. People turning to you. People want to support you. People participating in your activities, your events, right? They're wow, they're excited. They love what you're doing in the constituency. And they want to follow you. They want to vote for you. They register in record numbers. And all your events are successful and so on. The output. Because ultimately, you want to get to the outcome where you can get their votes and you can win the election. And that is so, so important. Very important, because you could be out there and achieving nothing in the field. But if you have objectives, if you have targets, if you have a plan and you have things outlined, and you go there with that plan to execute it, and to you can get somewhere. So we know the NNP strategy, but we must continue to work strategically and be organized. Organized. You have to get the outcome at the end of it all. Winning the seat. Because remember, in all those constituencies, we have NDC and we have NNP. And do not be fooled by some NNP supporters. Because NNP supporters are very good at tricking people to get what they want, or fooling people to get what they want. They make you believe that they are on your side. Yes, they would make you believe that. But when election time comes around, they go and vote for NNP because they know you're not in the polling station. You're not in the booth. So you would not know who they're voting for. And when they vote for NNP, they're still coming out when NDC wins the election and tell you that they voted for you. And when you look at the numbers, they just don't add up. I could testify to that in St. John. During the last election, right, there were a lot of people who lied for the Honorable Kieran James. They lied for her. Even some of her family members in that St. John area, they gave her this false idea that they were supporting her and that they voted for her. But when you look at the numbers, they don't add up. They just don't add up. They did not vote for her, a lot of them. But today, they're pretending that they voted for her and that a lot of them are strong NDC and so on and so forth today. Because why? NDC won the election. They want to benefit. They want to eat the food and they want to survive. I know that personally. There's a problem with the audio and it's going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth this morning. I don't know what's happening here, but the audio is a problem this morning. All right? Audio is a problem this morning. Something with the internet this morning. I don't know what's the problem. All right? Something with that internet this morning. Going and coming, going and coming. Just the system. The system is messed up. All right? So I am saying that to you. I remember during the election, because I was in St. John and back and forth in some of those other constituencies. And when I reached in Concord and I realized what was going on, and I asked the outdoor agents and so on, well, how I ain't see this person yet? How I ain't see that person yet? Right? I asked how you ain't see them to go up and vote. And I had to organize a bus to go and pick up. That's coming to the end, almost to the end of the voting process in St. John, because the NNP folks, they were celebrating already. A truck went down and they thought that they won the election. And I had to go back in Black Bay and go back in those areas and pick up some of these people, right, who did not go out and vote early because these folks were just out there, the outdoor agents, they're macking and thinking that people are going to come. And I was able to go back and get, I think it was, 20-something people coming to the tail end of the thing. So I know what I'm talking about. I'm not guessing this. There are a lot of people who lied to some of those MPs. Well, now they're ministers and so on. Very deceitful. The numbers, all you need to do is to crunch the numbers. Look at the numbers. They're not adding up. When they say, well, that person say they vote for you, that person vote for you. Well, if all of them vote for you, you're supposed to get a lot more votes than what you got. Right? So it's so important to know the genuine support that you have within your constituency and how you can support them to make sure that you maintain that block. Because it's all easy for people to say, well, we want the NNP vote and we want those who are disgruntled and bitter with how they treat Peter and how they treat this one, how they treat that one. You know. Anybody could talk. All now you have all kind of analysts and all kind of people who believe that they know it all. And you ask them, have you been involved in this thing? Have you been victorious in anything? Successful in anything? What do you really know about this? Do you know about field canvassing? Have you been involved in it? Do you know the questions you have to ask people to get from them whether they support that candidate or not? What have you been doing lately? Have you been registering people so that they can participate in the election, so that they can vote come the election? What have you been doing? Right? But there are a lot of NNP who are pretending because they want work. They want work. They want opportunities. That's how they do it. You just want to survive. And you can't blame them. That's their strategy. That's their survival strategy. But to know your real supporters, you have to be on the ground. You have to do your field canvassing. You have to be on the ground doing that field canvassing to know the people who support you. Because you don't need all 5,000 people or all 4,000 people in your constituency to vote for you. That wouldn't happen. All you need is the amount to win. So you have 4,000 people registered in your constituency. All you need is 2,001. to win that seat. That is all. And if you're in government, you have the public purse. You can assist 500 people with housing assistance, material assistance, right? You can assist another 500 with road work, with a piece of road being constructed there, the debushing work. You could assist them with some sleeper drain in the area. You may construct a community center there. Some might be happy with that, or renovate it. You might fix the playing field. Some might be happy with that. You might light the playing field. Some might be happy with that. You may fix a school in the area, renovate it, upgrade it. Some might be happy with that. All right? But you have to know who are happy with that. You see the point? Some people may get regularized. They will be happy. Their family will be happy with that. Some may be a part of the construction boom in the country, so they get something to do. They might be happy with that. Some businesses in the area, they might be getting more business than ever before. So in other words, you have to know what they're happy with and whether they support. They may not support you, but they may support your party. They may support our beloved Prime Minister. So when you add all of that up, you may come to that place where you have 2,300 people who are on your side out of that 4,000. And you just have to maintain them. Maintain that block. Some may get the free tuition support from government for TAMCC and NULO. They may be happy with that. Some may be in the tourism industry and seeing more flights coming in, more business for them. They may be happy with that. The minimum wage, right? The impact of that. Some may be happy with that. Because, they're getting more money. Some workers who are accustomed going out in the field, on the road and protest and march and demonstrate for the increase and all these different things. The government gave them the increase so easily. Some may be happy with that. So it's a oil dung that you have to separate to get to know who is happy with what and so on. And there are those who might disagree with you on certain things and like certain things. Because there are some people who disagree with me on certain things that I say and like certain things that I say. That doesn't mean to say that they're not NDC, but it's just that they disagree. And nothing wrong with that. So it has to be scientific. It must be scientific. You can't just be going out in the field, taking some photos and videos, and that's it. So people see that and they say, why they're out in the field and they didn't. No. When it comes to the politics, it's deeper than that. So we know. But it's very difficult when you are in government to lose government. I'm not saying it's not it's not possible. And I'm not saying it is something so impossible and so on. I'm not saying that. I'm saying when you're in government, you have more opportunities to make your people happy and to make them come on your side. And there are some NNP supporters who you could turn, right? Because every man has a price. There are some NNP supporters who you can convince, who you could turn to come on your side. And there are some supporters of Peter who you might be able to turn to come on your side. So it's a lot of factors. But we know the NNP strategy. And we know what they're trying to achieve. Because they believe if they can get that sweep in the rural parts, then they form the government. Because they are banking on the fact that even if our beloved Prime Minister wins St. David, and when he wins St. David, Andy wins South, Philip Tellisford win St. George Southeast, Ron win the Northeast, and Claudette or whoever is running, wherever, or in those areas, that's just 5. All right, that's just 5. And let's say Tevin wins and Carriacou and Petit Martinique, that's just 6. So we need to get St. Andrew. So Delma wins St. Andrew, Lennox Andrew, you know, whoever they have in those constituencies. Is that they win St. Andrew, then you have 8, and then you sweep St. Patrick. So again, you have to have a roadmap and a strategy, because that is their strategy, and we already identified. Well, at least Kem Jones identified their strategy. So you have to be on the ground doing the political work, getting the political work done. A lot of talkers out here, plenty talkers, and people who are greedy. They want work and grabbing this and grabbing that. But when it comes to actual doing, when it comes to volunteering, going out there with the MP, going out there with people to do the work in the field, organizing yourself to get the work done. It's a different ball game, huh? Different ball game. Not everybody would volunteer their time and effort to go out in the field and get the job done. But they want work, and they want opportunity, and they want this and they want that. All right. So we are confident that the government is performing well, really well. But we have to do more politically. All right? Because something as simple as having the right person to take a good photo when you're in the field, the ideal photo. I don't put up, for example, any and any photo on my Facebook page. No. Or any and any video on my Facebook page. I don't do that. I make sure when I put up a photo, I achieve the objective that I set out to achieve. So you need to have a person with you out there who has an eye for that kind of detail, to take the right photos, the right time, to do the right reels and the right videos. And when you post stuff on Facebook, you don't need all these paragraphs and paragraphs outlining. No. A picture tells 1,000 words. The picture would speak for itself. So all you need is a heading, a little heading. The video will even give you more information. You don't need all this paragraph and paragraph and paragraph. People don't read that. You're wasting your time. It's short, straight to the point. That's what it is. Right? So a lot has to be done. A lot has to be done where that is concerned. So you're out there, just a simple thing as a photo, simple photo, taking the right photo and posting that up, so that the people in your constituency at least could see that you were out there and you were doing X and doing Y. So you're reaching people, you're meeting people. That's important. And there will be people who you're going to help, and they go turn around and bad talk you. You have to get accustomed to that. And you still have to keep your cool. You still have to remain focused. You still have to be smart. It's what it is. That's life. But the government is performing well. The government is doing a good job. Right? Really good job. But the politics. So you have to marry government with the politics, the party work, the politics. And it's not hard to do. You just need the right people to help and to push it. And you have to be humble enough sometimes to ask for the help, you know. Sometimes you just have to come out and say, I need help. Can you help me? Can you assist me here? Can you assist me there? Because I say to some people, sometimes you're looking far away for certain things and it's right before you. Your neighbor may have it. Your family member may have it. Your friend may have it. You're looking for a cutlass, or you're looking for a fork, or you're looking for a hoe, or you're looking for a handsaw, or you're looking for a... And you're thinking far, and it's right there. Excuse me. So sometimes you got to start somewhere, right? But so far, so good. The NDC is working. The government is working. A lot more to be done. We are not naive to believe that we arrive and everything is nice and dandy. Politics is a competitive sport. While we need some sanity in politics, because people always say politics is a dirty game, a dirty game. No, we need some sanity in the politics. It's a new time, a new period, a new era. We have to change things, right? But it's a competitive sport because your opponent wants what you have, and they will try all kind of ways and means to get it. So remaining focused is key and getting the job done, because the NDC is doing a fantastic job. The party is on the up, united, focused, committed to improving the lives of the Grenadian people, the Caraconians and the Petit Martinicans. Things are looking good. All right? And remember, right now, a lot of people will be talking about Peter David and Peter this and Peter that. Don't be fooled. Everywhere Peter goes, trouble follows. And I am not saying that he's solely responsible for the political trouble that normally would show its ugly head. But something about Peter, because Peter is a guy who wants power. He's not concerned about anything else. He's about power. Once he gets power, that's what he wants. And you don't want a person like that in your organization. All they want is power. What's going to happen eventually? They're going to fight you for power. They're going to come at it. So that is why most of the organizations that he been to, see what happened after that. I'm not saying he's a bad guy, but I'm simply saying you don't want to be close to that individual politically. If he wants to start his own thing, let him start it. That's his business. And then he would only be fighting himself. Or he can't fight again, because it would be his thing. People like that should have their own thing. NDC is good just as it is. NDC is doing well. You don't want to spoil it. And you don't want nobody close to it that want to spoil it. You see? That is important. Very important. So Peter good right where he is. Right? So let's stay there. We ain't want him. And I'm speaking about ordinary people who just love to see how the NDC going. Right? Because people were traumatized during 2008 to 2013. A lot of our supporters got traumatized with what took place with Peter and the others. Well, Peter was the main ring leader. And people still haven't gotten over that. The wind of change got us in. Right? Got NDC in power. And people thought that was it for the NNP. And Tutu's stupidness that happening. You remember? Don't forget that. And there are still people who have not recovered from that period, because of the amount of work people put in to get rid of Keith Mitchell and the NNP in 2008. And because Peter was so power hungry with the others, we saw what transpired around that time. And it benefited the NNP. But right now, the table turned. The NDC is in power, and the NDC is stable and united around one leader. And when you look at the NNP, infighting, instability, resignation after resignation, real problems. You don't want that kind of spirit to come over to NDC. No. Peter good right where he dey. So remain independent. Right? You're good right where you are. We ain't want you. You're good right where you are. NDC is okay as is. So, folks, take out this idea. You see, the Honorable Delma Thomas was not as tainted as Peter. She's different. People like her. Deep in her constituency. She's a nice person to be around. Right? And she ain't come with all the baggage that Peter would come with. So don't worry about Peter. Peter good right where he is. All right? And the NNP, they would continue to fight among themselves. You're going to see more resignation. You're going to see a lot of NNP people because a lot of them get disgruntled, they bitter, they angry, they sour with the way they treated Peter David. There are a lot of them who are like that. All right? Especially those who he brought in. Let them continue to be like that. All right? Very, very important indeed. Let the good right where they dey. Stay right there. Fight among all yourself. Do all your stupidness. That's all your business. But NDC is focused. And NDC will remain focused. Because Grenadians are looking towards the transformation of this country. And that is why those unions, all how they try to create industrial unrest, well, at least some of them, they have not been successful because the people love what the NDC is doing and want the NDC to succeed. And they want Grenada to remain peaceful and stable. There are other people within the society who trying to stir stuff up, create instability, create problems, and they have not been successful to date. And then when you look on social media, no matter what some of those NNP people pushing, the NDC army on social media, they will defend the party and government, and they would promote the party and government. So all how the NNP trying, and all how different groups that they trying to work through, trying to create problems in the country, they have not been successful to date. We have seen even public officers who are supposed to do their work to make sure that public officers get pay on time and all these different things. Remember they tried that? To create this idea that there is, late payment and money issue. And then we get to know that there's a lot of money, plenty money, so there is no money problem. The problem is the administration of the work, getting the work done. It's an administrative issue. Workers who are supposed to do the work, they slack it off. But that still did not succeed. So nearly everything that the NNP and some of the supporters are pointing to and trying to create a scene with, they have not succeeded. They have not succeeded because the Grenadian people home and abroad want this administration to succeed, to be successful in transforming Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique. So I'm happy. I'm happy. Folks, I want to wish you all the best. Have a wonderful day. I'll be back with you tonight in the hub, starting from 8 in the PM. And we know the NNP, they have some press conference today, and they're using some of those media platforms to push it, to get a certain amount of people there in terms of media and so on, because they want a certain outcome. That's what they have been doing. All right? So let's see how it goes. Let's see how it goes.